Hello, everyone, and welcome to Petite to Queen's Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I'm your host, Lynn, and today I'm joined by our special guest, Lesley Nase. Lesley and I are going to be sharing 7 simple and easy ways for you to seize the day. Now, full disclosure, Lesley has become a very dear friend, a business confidant, the most amazing human being, and I want to share about her. Entrepreneurs hire Lesley to get to the core of communication because most fail to speak the language of their listener and are missing out on connections, relationships, and resolutions to maximize success. So she helps break down barriers to leverage conversations for collaborations and conversions. Lesley is the creator and CEO of Intuitive Animal Healing, a communication specialist, a spiritual advisor for C-suite CEOs with a certification in core communication for businesses. She is the host of the Client Whispers podcast and TV show on the Billionaires Network and Pelucha TV. Lesley is also the host of Books, Yarns, and Tales, and that streams on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And Lesley, I am so excited to have this conversation with you. This is going to be such fun.
I am delighted to be here with you as always, Lynn. We always seem to have a great time and ideas just flow between the two of us. So this is wonderful.
And we're going to have so much good advice for you. And before we get started, for any of you who are joining us for that very first time, make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing to Claim Your Career Crown wherever you get your podcasts. And if you love the show, please share it and give us a 5-star review because we would very much appreciate it. All right. So Lesley, let's really dive into this. And I thought where we'd start with this is really sharing our thoughts on what it means, air quotes, to seize the day. What do you think, Lesley?
Every morning I wake up, I start to think about my day. And I think this is the epitome of seizing the day because I get very excited as I go through, what is this day going to be like? And I approach it with more of a positive outlook on everything that's going on. But I'll run through my schedule in my head before I even get up. So a lot of that is visualization. So when it comes to parts of my day and something goes, I am like, woohoo, it's ready for a little dance of excitement because that keeps that positivity up, that keeps your vibrations up for the next thing you have to tackle, no matter what it is. How about you?
Yeah, no, that's so true. I mean, I have a different little take because what I do every morning when I get up is I have this mantra I say to myself, there are so many things I get to do today. And so that really frames it that I get to do them. It's not like there are so many things I have to do because that goes into immediate negative tailspin.
Right.
So instead, I reframe it in the positive and really that privileged space that I get to do these things. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. And so, and every time I do that and I frame my day, first of all, it sets you up to seize the day. It sets you up to celebrate every victory, the smallest victory, from vacuuming my floor. It's a woo, that got done. And so it's really the seizing the day. There's so many different ways you can interpret it. So sometimes people think it's only for the big things, but it isn't. Our days are made up of all of these little precious moments that we're stacking together to seize the day. I mean, that's my interpretation.
No, I totally agree with you. And I think, we're having what's so much fun between you and I is that we come at this with different perspectives and we kind of meet in the middle. So it's nice because we're saying similar things, but people hear us different ways and they can latch on to what resonates the most with them, and when you're talking about the things stacking up, to me, that's when you find those little miracles in your day. And I mean, even things that maybe didn't go so right. And if you sit back and you think, wow, wait a minute, let me think about this and not hash it over in the way that maybe I was a victim of something that came true, but look at it more like, how did I play a part in that? That changes your outlook. And you'll find those little miracles, those little aha, that's a neat way to look at that. Now I understand something deeper.
Yeah.
So
And then you can take action on that, right? I mean,
absolutely.
so you can say, okay, well, and then you can also look at the flip side. These are the things that I did right. And these are
Yes.
the things that went well. So now I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to dust myself off and I'm going to fix this one thing.
Right. Yeah.
And do it
Yeah.
again.
Absolutely. So that kind of leads me into the next question here, Lynn, because you've got such great knowledge when it comes to businesses, especially in sales. So how about seizing the day in business? What are the simple and easy ways for you that you seize the day with your business?
Well, you know, once again, loaded question. And there's so many places I could go with that. But, once again, it's about focusing on all of the good. And even when there's a situation um, that didn't go the way that you thought it would go, looking for the good in that situation. That's an important way to seize the day because it keeps you on the positive momentum
Mhm.
and visualizing the success and really manifesting it. So rather than let negative Nelly take over or negative Ned and whispering those, just not positive thoughts in your head, you really want to look at like, okay, this is what I did accomplish today. And I feel really good about that. In fact, just before we started this, I showed Lesley a new landing page because she and I are doing a series of masterclasses together.
Yeah.
And I was super excited about, what I had put together and what my team had put together. It's always a village effort. And yesterday when I was working on things at a certain point, I went, okay, well, I still need to do this, but it's 7 p.m. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to go have dinner. I'm going to watch some movie on Hallmark Channel.
Mm.
and and I said I got a lot done and then I'm going to come at it fresh tomorrow. So in business, when you think about seizing the day, it's about looking in that same way of how can you see beyond maybe a situation that you've got a client ghosting you. And instead of going into like, why won't they call me back? Why won't they respond to my emails or my
Yeah.
texts? I mean,
Yeah.
what the heck? Instead, taking that step and going, oh, they're really busy. I mean, right now, when we're
Yeah.
recording this, we're heading into July 4th, huge holiday here in the US.
Mhm.
Lots of people do many things with their families, sometimes with business, combination of the two. And so their community. And, that's such an important thing is once again, when you seize the day, you're also giving yourself permission. You're giving yourself permission to try new things. You're giving yourself permission to finish something up the next day when you come at it fresh.
Yeah.
You're giving yourself permission um, to see that good in the other person or see the good in the situation or come up with something, a totally random, fresh idea to reach out and to make a connection. So there's just so many different ways in business that you can use this philosophy to seize the day. And it isn't like, once again, it can be these small things, not this huge, big thing like, oh, I closed this big account. Well, yeah, that's where, massive dance
Right.
party,
Right. Yeah.
but it's still those, oh, hey, they responded to my email. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, they
Yeah.
showed up for the training. Whoa, yay.
Right.
those are
Right.
those are those moments of triumph that you absolutely need to celebrate And, you keep stacking that into the positive, into the value vault, so that it's easier when something does go a little sideways, so that you can go, okay, well, this happened, but I've been there, done that, and this is how I course correct. And that is really what puts you in the position in your business or in your sales to seize every day.
Nice.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm going to take it a little bit deeper. Some of what you said is I go deeper with clients when I work with them, because helping them change their habits, their beliefs, their thoughts, and leading into their emotions as to what really is going on with them. And once they go through that kind of process, the seizing the day becomes a little bit more of a natural process, which is what you're saying. That's how you can kind of seize the day. But some people need those a little deeper. So in business, one of my favorite things, and you can look at it two ways, as to which way something works best for you. But it is that focus time. And this is not time management per se, but it is really saying, I'm going to focus on one thing. Well, we have so much going on in our heads as entrepreneurs, and we've got our list. We probably have a running list up next to us of what we need to do, but then there's the daily list. So you kind of mark that down. Maybe you put 5 to 7 things down there, but then you want to whittle it down again. What really 3 things are you going to get done in that day? And then go to 1. This is where the focus comes in. The focus comes in, and studies show that if you do like a 90-minute focus time, you can get a lot done. So you break it up into 3 different times. So 25 minutes, then you get up for 5 minutes, you walk around, you go do something else, you come back, you sit for another, 25 minutes, and then you take that break. And it's the same thing. And at the end of that, what I always like is to take a longer walk, a longer breakaway from my computer screen, which so many of us these days are sitting in front of all the time. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit of what happens on this. So when you break down for one item that you're going to work on, but you've got 2 other items there, your mind is focusing in on that one item. And when you spend so much, those 25-minute blocks, the creativity in your mind starts to wire and fire in your brain so that more ideas come up. And each time you take a 5-minute break, it is like taking a deep breath. It's enough of a break in the brain for you to come back and have a fresher time and sit and go again. Now, that longer period at the end of the day, when you're celebrating, just like you said, hey, I got that one item done. And you're out there walking the dogs, or you're walking in the woods, or, you're just walking down the block, whatever you're doing, you will probably find that your mind will go back to one of those 2 things that you had on your list. Now, suddenly you're going, I got the answer to one of those problems as you're walking, and you turn back and you go back and you sit for a shorter period of time, but that creativity has come. And you might even find that other question has been answered as well, or you finished that, because it is about training the brain, training the body, and it is about opening up your creativity and moving through something. And your body, and I believe the universe, is lining up to help you with that. And that's like that client whisper. It's on the wind. And if you don't grab it, you might lose it.
Yeah.
So that's one way I think of seizing the day.
Well, and I agree with you in business, and being able to actually give yourself permission to take a break, to stop.
Yeah.
One of the best things that I can also do is take a walk. It's the energizing energy, feet on the earth, breathing, listening, looking, And I can just walk around the perimeter of my house, but I'll, look at and hear the wind in the trees and watch it as it rustles the branches or the leaves. I'll notice, a plant, maybe a ladybug on a leaf or a flower that's starting to emerge. And all those things, touch also, feeling the bark of the tree or the petal of a flower. All those things really, really reconnect you in a very deep way so that it's really refreshing. And what's so surprising is, and it's not surprising, but sometimes when you're just doing that and you've completely just reconnected, all of a sudden an idea does come to you. And it's like, oh, that's the solution. And then, you come back, but it's just, you've put yourself at calm and you've re-energized yourself. And it was really a gift to yourself of how you seized that moment to give yourself so that you can be refreshed. And it's an amazing place. Even if you just get up and walk around your office, in the cubicles, or, you walk to the local coffee shop and back. Or,
well, I was going to say, a lot of our listeners may not be in nature like maybe you and I are to be able to do that. Yeah. But it is the sense of movement of your body. And again, that's part of what I end up teaching is that movement of your body. And it doesn't matter where you are, leave the office, go down the elevator, take the stairs, walk out on the block, smell what's going on, even stop to taste something, looking at things differently. All of that, as you were saying, is opening up and activating what's going on and helps you to seize the day and helps to raise your vibration within your body to keep it at that positive.
Yeah. All right. So now let's sort of shift back into our personal life, family life. It can still include our business life, but we are going to talk about 7 simple and easy ways to seize the day. And so I'm going to kick us off with one, and this is one of my favorite things to do. And it's to commit a random act of kindness every day. Now, and you may think, okay, wait. Now, maybe you are in front of a computer on an island and you don't have anybody like you would see, but you can do that by doing something on LinkedIn, sending somebody a note, thanking them for a great post, or sharing their event with your connections. There are so many ways that you can commit a random act of kindness every day. It's just limitless. Sometimes when I'm out and about, it could be at the grocery store, I could be at an airport, and I'll see someone and I'll notice something that's really neat about either how they're dressed, sort of how they're carrying themselves, maybe some really cool fob on their purse, whatever it is. I can say, that is so fabulous. I love that. Is there a story behind it? And I mean, it depends on the situation. If you're in line at the Starbucks, then they can chat while they're waiting in line, right? And it's a great way to let them go like, yeah, isn't this cool? And there is a story behind it. But it just makes somebody smile, right? And that's just such an incredible gift. And it's a wonderful way to seize the day, whether it's a stranger or someone with your work and a peer or your family. So that's one. How about you? You're next. You're up. Your tag. You're it.
I'm it. Okay. I think one way to seize the day for many people is when you have that commute, but often people are not commuting, they're working from home. But either way, that time between in your morning when you're on your way to work or in the afternoon when you're on your way home, there is a time that can help you seize the day and to process what's going on within your day. We talked about myself. I think about my day and, what I got going. And that's part because like most of us, we live by our calendar. So, you got to know what's going on. But if you think of that in a positive way. So at the end of the day, it is how do you unwind, decompress a little bit before you get home. And maybe you don't have much of a walk or a movement to you. Maybe you're getting on that train or getting in that car, or even, for me, I am walking into my living room. But what changes and what shifts? Because work is one place and personal life is the other place. And working with people who have pets and they're talking about coming home and their animal is bouncing off the walls, or their animal seems to be in a bad mood. And it's so many times that what's really happening there is that, oh no, you are the factor in what's going on with them.
Yeah.
They are not, bouncing off the walls because they just want to. Bouncing off the walls because what are you bringing in that door? And it goes the same with any partner that you have in your life, and whether you have children in your life. When you walk in that front door and the attitude that you have, if you are bringing work home,
Yeah.
then you're not seizing the day. You're back at work. If you have had a chance to unwind, and I don't care how you do it, whether you're telling, whether you're just telling yourself, okay, work is done, and you are imagining going through the door and having the work door close behind you, and now you're back at home, if you're at home, or whatever ritual that you have, going through that door when you get home should be stepping into another world. And then you can seize the day by greeting, your partner, your children, your pets with a more uplifting, positive way. And you talked about stories. So any kind of story that you can relate, mostly I would go with the funny stories. I don't go with the dark, depressing, oh my gosh, this is how it is. Because you start to fall in a role of what we call being a victim of your story, and you're carrying something that may have affected you during the day, but you then start perpetuating. That's a whole nother aspect of healing when you can leave that behind. So getting in the habit of opening the door, being home, and seizing the day now that you're home, and sharing with the ones that you truly love. Even if it's yourself and you're looking in the mirror and saying, I had a great day, this was wonderful, then do so. You would be surprised how the rest of your day goes from that point on.
Yeah. No, that is fabulous. And I'm going to sort of take another step further. So another way is to make sure that you do something for yourself that day. You, especially as women, sometimes we get so caught up in, taking care of everyone else, whether it's at work or at home, that we need to do something for ourselves, and whatever it happens to be. And I've been doing this thing where when I will sit down and have a real lunch, taking a break from work, and I listen to Audible while I am having my lunch with it. And it's a completely just fun book. So I'm not doing a business podcast or listening to a business book. It's just something really enjoyable. And it does all these combination of things by doing that. But that's another way that I get to seize the day, by treating myself in that way. And it's really important that we practice that every day, because otherwise we're no good to anyone if we're not taking care of ourselves and doing something for ourselves every day.
Well, and that's an excellent point, because so many people think that is selfish to take care of yourself. And it's not, because you have to look to you first and how yourself is, so that if you're coming with being whole, all of you there, then you've got a place to give. But if you're depleted of your own energy and your own time and your space, then you have nothing to give anybody. And I'm such a bookworm, right? I mean, that is my guilty pleasure. I will, if I'm reading. I can read at lunchtime, but I can only read to so many minutes, and then I got to get back to work. And then at nighttime, it's like I will stay up later just so that I can read, especially if I don't care if I've got to get up at, like, what was I up at 5 o'clock this morning? So I don't really care. That's my time. That's me time,
Yeah.
or going into the garden or something else that just feels good of what you're doing. It is. And that sparks your creativity. So the
Yeah.
more you take some time for you, the better creative you'll be in your work
Yeah.
and in your play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another way to seize the day is to, um, you know, uh, make a new choice. I mean, with new information that's come to you, new opportunities, and maybe an something old that's become fresh again, is it's another way to seize the day, is to take action on that. And that's a great way, and a completely sort of, I did a hard right there from what Lesley was just saying, but it's just another idea that when you do that, you're empowering yourself by choosing a new path, because
Right.
sometimes certain things aren't working for you, or something new has come up that, you sort of evaluate, is that a good decision? Is it the right decision for now? And then you say yes. You just give yourself the ability to say yes, because we always have that every day. There's lots of different choices that we're making, but sometimes just doing that one thing is incredibly empowering, and it really is seizing the day and making that new choice and taking a new path.
Well, I'm going to reference back to the ghost busting, because it's such a wonderful program that you're teaching, and it's part of that whole feeling of making a choice each and every step. Many of my clients are so confused that they don't know how to make that step, how to have those things in place. So that making that choice is the scariest thing to go. But if you've got a roadmap, like you lay out in all of the work that you do, but in particular in ghost busting, because it does become personal to someone. But if they have those steps in front of them, they'll go, oh, that I'm okay. I did make a good choice. And now I know what the next step is. Okay, I'll do that. And if I don't get, A response, I'll get B response. And, that helps people feel confident to take those steps and to know it's not about them at all.
Yeah.
It's truly where the other person is at.
Yeah. And that's an important point too about seizing the day, is sometimes just taking that moment to recognize that it isn't about you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and that you can, and that is also, once again, that gives you that power to say, all right, well, but I can still do this, this, and this, to either assist or help, or to course correct, change the situation, make the situation better, mitigate it. And so I think that really comes, we've gone through a lot of ideas. So I guess,
Yeah.
Lesley, the last thing I think we should share is, what can people who listening do right now today so that they can start to seize every day in their personal and business lives?
The simplest thing that I teach people is to breathe, because so often we don't breathe. And I really mean here's the simplest breath that you can take, full breath. And this is belly breath. This is not up in your chest. This is really to relax and to be able to refocus. Is you breathe in through your nose to the count of 8. And then you're going to hold it for at least a 2 count. Sometimes I go 4. And then you're going to breathe out for a 12 count. You really are emptying out. And that quite often what you're doing is you can even focus on it and make it like a mantra if you like. You're breathing in the fresh, clear air and you're breathing out the stale, old air. Then you start to breathe in the positivity around you. I was thinking two words at once here. And let go of some of that old negative attitude that are there. So it is a way to really calm your system, but to reset it and to be able to step in again and make that choice, just like you said, what am I going to do now? What's next?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah. And that's the most effective technique to really calm yourself. And that I've used another phrase of a powerful pause, and taking that moment. It's a gift to yourself, and it's a gift if you're interacting with somebody else, so everybody can compose their thoughts.
Right.
But it's also a way for you in any kind of given moment to pause and then breathe and choose, the next step, the next way, and do it. That's going to move you forward. And when you do that, that is seizing the day. That is always positioning you in that one little moment. You just seize the day in that one little moment.
Right. And just imagine if you do that over and over again,
Yeah.
You'll be seizing lots of moments. How about you, Lynn? Is there any final words you'd like to say?
Well, I think I just said them. So
yeah, I think you did. But, I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to say anything else if you wanted to, even though this is your show.
Well, Lesley, thank you so much for being here with me and sharing 7 simple and easy ways for you to seize the day. I think we gave our listeners way more than 7.
I know we did. I was waiting for that. But that's how we work.
Yeah. An abundance. Right. So I would love to have you share with our listeners how and where they can find out more about you.
I think the simplest way is to go to, if you're on LinkedIn, then you really just find me, Lesley, Nase is the last name. I know I said that fast, but rewind a little and listen again. But find me on LinkedIn and drop me a line, and I would love to connect and talk more.
All right. And all of Lesley's links are down below, so she's one click away. And I'm so glad that we have this conversation, Lesley. And for everyone out there listening, thank you so much for being here. Today, we shared 7 simple and easy ways for you to seize the day. And the key is for you to implement these steps, these ideas, to stop wasting time, energy, and resources. And you have the opportunity to jump in and get the support that you need for true success. Yeah. You can say yes to you and get on a call with me and or Lesley, and we are both truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. So here's the link. And once again, you can click on it down below, go to pdq.link/win-win. And that way you can book a call with us. And you can find out about our Get More Client program, which is designed for immediate on-the-fly implementation for individuals committed to getting and taking action to move their business forward. And to learn more about our Get More Clients program, you can visit our website at petitetoqueen.com. And you can also connect with me on our website and to stay current on all of our insightful advice, our breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode of Claim Your Career Crown. You can sign up for our weekly wisdoms newsletter at petitetoqueen.com. And Lesley, thank you so much for being here. This has been such a treat.
Oh, same here. I feel like I was a little cheerleader, so I hope I didn't disrupt you, but I was like, yay, love Lynn.
We'll see you all later.
Bye.